Well, I have convinced these two lovely gentlemen to do some playing cards for it. So I think this is going to be, not playing cards, trading cards. But in the size of a playing card or a trading card. I don't know. In any case.
Was she referring to us when she said gentlemen?
I believe.
Well, that's nice.
It's inaccurate.
I feel elevated.
Yeah. So this is going to be a new thing that I decided that you guys are going to do.
That's cool.
So the last Friday of every month, I'm going to have these guys in here, and they're just going to...
There was never anything said about that.
You're hearing about it right now, so tune in next...
This is my new thing that we're doing.
All right.
I make decisions sometimes, and I make people play along with their cards. Because I would like to get more of this guy's tooling out into the world, because he does a fun job, and it's pretty neat.
That's right.
And he doesn't do it a lot anymore. So I feel like it's my goal in life is to try to get as much tooling out of him as I can. It's my goal. So in any case...
make me suffer as much abuse as I can possibly handle.
Always.
I can do it.
Always. But first, guys, check this out. So this is the basket from Wednesday, all dried up. Nice. Denny got my little handles done. So we got those riveted on there. Cool. He did a little bit of tooling in the bottom, which I'm sure was awful because it was
I had to make tools to do that.
We probably should have done that before we molded it.
The stamp itself was already made.
You had to make tools to get in there?
Something with a handle this long.
But it came out really stinking neat. I think he said that he used our new little handheld airbrush to spray some oil on it, to oil it after it had molded, just to give, a little bit of moisture to the leather, because that's always something that we talk about doing. We got those handles riveted on there. And then, honestly, I think that we need a little latch for the handles to bring them up at the top, to hold them up like this. But it's a perfect little basket for whatever.
For spring.
For spring, yeah, to put
apples.
I like it. Look, see, this guy knows what to do with the basket.
Nick was in yesterday, and he said he would use it to hunt mushrooms with.
Yeah.
He said it'd be a perfect mushroom basket.
No, not true. I ain't buying that one.
What do I need to sell you for you to buy it?
Well, not for mushrooms. It's not going to work.
Okay, how about golf balls?
Oh,
you can collect golf balls with it.
I don't. But
how about tennis balls? We'll collect tennis balls. All right, guys. Well, anyways, I just wanted to show you this. I know a lot of you have purchased the pattern.
That's pretty cool.
Either in PDF form or the physical acrylic version. So hope you guys enjoy making your baskets, and that's the one that we've got. So, all right, fellas, do your thing.
Are we ready to start?
Yeah. I hope so. Are you? Denny did some stuff.
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Me too.
Much I can tell you.
I took the liberty of drawing out a pattern because I'm not very good at drawing one directly on leather. So,
well,
I'm not all that good at drawing one on paper.
I decided I'm going to make a fool of myself, and I'm just going to draw on leather.
Kevin, you're pretty good at winging stuff. That's what I've... You're not too shabby at it.
That's because I don't show you the mistakes.
Oh, gotcha.
This is my happy little old swivel knife. It's so old, the stupid little yoke thing has gotten all cruddy. But, on the other hand, Becky's going to hate me if I keep wiping stuff on my pants. It does twirl really good.
Look at that go.
And boy, that's important. As everybody knows, if a swivel knife doesn't twirl, it's...
Oh, okay. So, I was on Facebook the other day.
I was kidding, you know.
And I saw somebody that had, instead of swiveling at the top, the blade swiveled. Yeah. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't you have one of those, Denny?
Yeah, those are not real new.
No, they're not.
But,
it was the first time I'd seen one, and it was interesting.
One of the ladies that took my class used one a while back, and she got along with it very well. I don't know that I could, but she certainly did a good job with it. I guess it's whatever you're used to.
Sure. Are we going to have the fights of the lefts versus the rights?
Well, let's just see. I don't really know exactly what I'm doing with this anymore. But I'll do something, even if it's wrong.
Well, nobody will know it's wrong if you just do it and say that that's what you meant.
You know, I do one of these birds about once a year. I kind of forget what I got going. But that's okay. I guess it really doesn't matter.
How's everybody doing out there today? Everybody having a great Friday? Looking forward to a fun weekend. Last weekend of January already.
You know, since you've asked, I can tell you, this is just darn near the dumbest weather you could ever have around here. It's 400 degrees below zero during the day, and it gets worse at night. And I'm just not up for that anymore.
Well, don't worry. We get to go to Tucson next week to where it's your kind of winter.
Oh, yeah, the rock show.
I'm looking forward to that, to be quite honest with you. Warmth. You know, I'm not a great big fan of the desert, but right now I think the desert sounds pretty doggone appealing.
Well, I just came back from the desert, and it was delightful.
Well, compared to here, I get it.
Seriously, it was nice. It was in the 60s. It got to 70, I think, one day that we were there. And the nights, of course, cooled way off.
Where were you at?
We were at Big Bend National Park, and you told me you'd been there once. But
yeah.
you missed, and you are a rock guy. You missed out if you didn't hunt rocks there, Kevin.
Well, I went for a specific reason with another guy a long time ago, and it was to fish. And at that time, I liked to fish more than I liked to eat almost. And so we fished.
Did you fish in the Rio Grande?
Pardon?
Did you fish in the Rio Grande River?
No, although I hear they got those great big old, what are those great
Flathead catfish?
No, there's another one that's
those sturgeon and
Johnny Morris has got a couple of them over there in his
That'd be a big
Bass
fish
Pro.
to be in the Rio Grande, but airplane. I don't think there's enough water for them to be in there.
Yeah, well, in some places there is.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just pretty cool.
It has some of the most beautiful geology I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty down there.
Everything you can imagine. They had mountains, they had desert, mountains with pine trees, and just like they have in Colorado and Wyoming. Then they had just desert like they have in Arizona and New Mexico. More kinds of cactus than you can count.
Yeah. I liked the area. It was beautiful. Let's see.
It certainly wasn't what I had imagined it to be.
You didn't bring me a rock.
I did. I haven't brought it in yet.
Oh.
I brought lots of rocks, Kevin. My wife did. I hauled them. She brought them.
Well.
I think Becky knows that story. Kevin finds them and Becky has to haul them.
Everybody gets mad at me because I stop and hunt for agates everywhere there's a gas station that's got rocks around the building perimeter,
That's true. On our way to Dallas, we went to Arby's, and before we could make it into the building, Kevin had to look at their rock garden and see if there was any rocks that he needed to collect
you and
at the
my wife
Arby's.
are related, I do believe.
Well,
we go to Menards down here. She says, wait a minute. She spends 30 minutes looking at the parking lot.
I picked up like 20 geodes around a Longhorn steak restaurant in Iowa one time. They had just hauled in stuff, and oh, gosh, that was just glorious.
Were you supposed to take it?
What's that?
Were you supposed to take it, or was that their rock garden out?
Well, they put them out there. I assumed they were free.
I paid for my steak and I took my rocks.
Well,
We did have a question, Liz. Ongoing, if you don't have an airbrush, how could you continue to condition your basket?
with a sponge and some conditioner.
Yeah, just with the sponge. It's just going to be a tedious process no matter how you go about it. Yeah.
Allie can't decide what she wants to keep in the one that she took home. So she has her baby in it, and then she had clothes that need to go to the dirty clothes, so she put all those in it.
Because it's also a laundry basket.
And then it carried them to the dirty clothes.
It's quite a useful little thing. Just don't get it wet, and you're fine.
You know, this has a lot of room for improvement, I can tell you.
But you got an hour.
How's some... Well, I can't.
You can't fiddle with that.
Cut on this for an hour, but I can probably, maybe I'll just make another one.
Well, let's...
What?
I'm just gonna... These are so small that your hands are all in the way.
Oh. Can't see
but
it?
It's just a
You
little...
can see. I'm switching back and forth
Yeah.
between you. Is that a plastic top on your yoke there?
The swivel knife?
Yeah.
No, just all the finishes come off of it because it's old.
And because Kevin doesn't use it enough.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't keep it conditioned with his oils.
Very true.
We do have an airbrush video that answers a lot of airbrush questions.
We do. Oh, Kevin's making a card. That's fun, Kevin.
Well, it's not a card exactly, but this can be my heartbird.
Your heartbird.
Is that the name of a town or something? Heartbird?
Probably. It's probably somewhere in Connecticut.
Yeah.
You gotta put a little KH in there somewhere.
That's,
You gotta sign him.
Well, that makes it challenging. Wasn't counting on having to do that.
Put it in this blank spot over there.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe I could just kind of...
Christina, or Victor asked, are you still holding classes for tooling and carving leather?
Yes. First and third Saturday of every month is the novice class. Second and fourth is the intermediate to advanced class.
Give us a call. We can get you signed up. Is it $80, Denny?
Yes, $80.
$80 for the class.
Class runs from 9 in the morning till about 5 in the evening.
Okay, that's good enough.
Okay.
It has my little thing on it. I just sort of hit it.
Oh, I see it.
That's it. Anyway, okay. Now I'll do something
right
semi...
here. Kevin put his little... It's kind of upside down. You gotta go over this way. Kevin Hopkins, right there.
Nice.
I'll do something normal or semi-normal.
Yeah,
No, that's
you think
fun.
we believe that?
Look at what you can do with just a swivel knife, guys. Isn't that awesome?
It's cool. Let's see what he's got. Oh, yeah. I'm envious.
You have nothing to be envious about.
Kevin, have you always been more of a freehand tooler than a pattern tooler?
No, I'm just playing around right now. I will say I've done a lot of tooling over the years. There's no doubt about that. But I just, got tired of tracing. I kind of know how the lines flow, so I wanted to see what I could do. Sometimes stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. And when you get to a point, sometimes it just doesn't matter all that much. If it doesn't work, it just gives you an opportunity to fix it. So I've had lots of opportunities to fix things. Well, I bet you have too.
Oh no, Kevin, mine always come out pretty much perfect. And you,
humble Denny is.
You hired me because I'm a liar, right?
Now I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, we'll just do one of those. I guess it works. Kind of have to think backwards sometimes. I'm getting better at that. Thinking backwards, you know.
Denny, you use the same 15-ounce maul whether you're beveling or shading?
Say what?
Your maul, 15 ounce?
Yeah, it's a 16 ounce.
16 ounce, and you use the same whether you're beveling or shading? Or?
I do, yes. If I'm doing a set stamp, like a geometric stamp or something like that, I use a heavier maul. But for carving, this is the one I use pretty much exclusively.
You ever wish you could see better, Denny?
About every day, several times. I'll tell you what, the lighting situation is always critical to me. If I don't have good lights, and this is fairly good light here.
I can add more lights if you need, Denny.
No,
okay.
no, I don't need it. But if I don't have good light, I can't see anything.
Yeah. Well, I have never carved this particular flower that I can recall. I just stuck a bunch of leaves together and hopefully it's going to work. But you know what? I have learned one thing over the years. If you're going to tool leather, there's a lot of... it's good to know that you can kind of correct some mistakes that you make along the way.
Sure.
With a beveler.
Yep. Yeah, oh yeah.
Or at least that's what I've come to find out.
I agree with you 100%.
So anyway, this is going to be less than stellar, but I guess that's just okay. So
Kevin, you'd like to know that Jessica's mom used to get mad at her all the time for coming home with pockets full of rocks.
Tell you what, that's you could have worse problems.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, gosh, I was always coming home with rocks. I was glad Mom and Dad didn't fuss at me about that. I hung on to some of those things.
He brings them into the store now and cuts them on his rock saw and makes cabochons out of them.
Well, some of them. Rocks are kind of like old friends, you know. Number one, they're all old. And
you're always younger than a rock, probably.
Well, yeah, I got to think that through for a minute. But there's a lot of benefits to being a person that likes rocks because they don't talk back.
They don't poop in your house.
They don't give you a lot of grief. You don't have to feed them. You don't have to water them. Well, sometimes you have to water them. But...
Hey, Tony. Would it be better to switch?
I did have it the other way and it didn't work, and now it seems like they're tooling a different way.
Well, it's because they cut with their swivel knives with the one hand, and then they do it with the other hand. So for the first half...
Am I not happily visible?
Well, I mean, your hand is really nice.
It'd be pretty hard for me to do this in another manner. mean, I don't mind trying. But would it help if I turned a little bit?
I mean, you could possibly, if you tried maybe standing on your head, see how that worked.
I'd prefer to do that in the privacy of my own home.
Okay. Now we know what Kevin does when he's at the house. He just stands on his head.
Oh no,
No, I'd prefer to try that.
Oh, try it.
But I don't think it's going to happen. I have this stupid little corgi dog. You try to do anything in that house without him, it just doesn't work. He's got to let you know. I'm gonna do a little bit of reverse beveling here. Isn't that exciting?
That's thrilling.
That's what I thought. I'm not even sure what that is.
Does that mean the side of the tool you're supposed to hammer is on your leather now, and you're hammering on the beveling side?
No, I'm just
going the other way.
I just beveled on one side of something for a while, then I'm going to bevel on the other side for a while, just because you can. It's pretty amazing what you can come up with when you just sort of start not caring too much about the rules. I will say though, boys, some of the folks that do that leather work like you see in the carving like you see in the various shows around, man, some of the leathercraft has gotten so amazingly better over the last, I don't know, 40 years. Some of those folks from Japan, Denny, have you noticed that? My gosh, they can tool leather.
I've never been to one of the shows and seen it personally, but I have seen pictures, and those guys are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I remember going out to the Sheridan show a couple years ago, and there was this entry, there was the dragon portrait, where it had all the super fine, delicate Sheridan floral carving on the inside, and then there was this dragon that came out, and it was like 3-dimensional around the picture, and it was just spectacular.
Yep. And it makes you, those people, they must do that for a living, I would guess, because, man, the time it would take.
Well, remember we were talking to that one fellow that spent quite a bit of time in Japan, and they're so dedicated to the craft. And he said every time, they'll sell something and they reinvest, all of the money that they get back into it to get more tools, to get better tools, to, whatever it is. And they're so dedicated to fine-tuning every little thing.
Yeah, I always felt bad about that because I'm just not that dedicated.
I feel you. When Chris makes a knife, they're almost perfect and they're really spectacular. And he just, still finds all the teeny little flaws. But I'm just like, man, this is just really, really good. Or our friend Kyle, that's the master bladesmith who makes just the most beautiful things. He still is nitpicking them. And I'm just like, you're one of the best in the world. This is fine. I'm like, yeah. I would have stopped a long time ago.
Well, I get it.
Those are different kind of people.
There's going to be plenty of nitpicking able to be done on this little piece, I can tell you. But that's okay. I don't mind. Everybody can at least get an idea of what you can do if you just sit down and start sort of tooling around and make your swivel knife go the direction that it's probably supposed to go in. Let's see. Man, I may end up having to borrow one of your tools here and there.
Borrow anything you want there.
Ooh, well, there's some fixing to do right there. Well, that helped.
I don't know what our stock is right now. I'll just say. All right, guys. It sounds like a couple of you, or maybe just some of you, or one of you, I don't know how many of you, had a question about our Barry King mallets and mauls right now. I know when we were out in Dallas, we talked to Barry, and they were getting ready to get a shipment sent. They had a crazy holiday season, just like everybody else, and with COVID and staffing issues and all of that, they had fallen a little bit behind. But it looks like we did just get a shipment in this week of some mauls and mallets, and so.
Are you sure?
Yep, I just had Tony look on the 24th. We got a shipment in of not a ton, but there was a couple handfuls of, it looks like about a half a dozen different mallets and mauls. So if you want to give us a call and see what our stock situation is, I don't know how many back orders we kept. I know sometimes we don't, just because we don't know when it's coming in, so we may or may not have been keeping back orders on hand.
There's a few on the website that are listed that they're available and not on order.
Okay, so if you check out the website, you can see which ones we've got in stock right now and either call or just place that order online. So check out those listings. It should say whether or not we've got them.
There was six different styles.
That came in?
Sorry, one of those was a swivel straight.
Oh. So I was right, about a half a dozen. 5. We got in 5. It looks like we got 6 of some and a dozen of some other ones. So just check out the website. You can see what's in stock right now and get an order placed if you'd like.
Yeah, I have to apologize for not being as chatty as I could be, but I kind of got to focus on some of this
Yeah, no,
stuff,
that's all right. That's my job.
Or at least you're really good at it. I got to give you credit.
I mean, you taught me how to argue with you, so that's what I got.
Oh, that was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my whole entire life.
It is fun, though.
Between you and Chris, I don't know.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Oh, gosh.
You didn't hire us to make life easy for you, did you?
Well,
maybe
I thought
you
I
did.
did, but that didn't work out.
Nice thought.
Well,
Denny, how's yours coming? Why don't you show us there? Look at that.
Got this camera right over here.
oh, that's really nice.
Getting some background in there.
Yeah.
Got all
You got your cedar.
set of chicken
not
necks.
Your cedar, your bar grounder.
Bar grounder, yeah.
It's just a mini cedar.
Yes.
Mini seeds.
It has many
that are-
seeds.
It has
on it.
mini. It has
Min-
both mini as in tiny.
M-A-N-Y and
Yeah.
M-I-N-I.
Yep.
Well, that made it kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I like the little mule's foot there at the end of your leaves or petals. Those are petals. Denny has leaves. Kevin has petals.
Whatever they are, I got them.
Denny, have you used that new Barry King tool that we got you?
I've tried several. I tried all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're neat.
What do you think about the mule's foot, like the stacked V?
That's neat if you've got a stem that's that shape.
Sure.
But it's neat.
It was a cool looking tool.
In fact, I think I might have even brought it here.
So in Dallas, every time we go
I
to
did
the
not.
WISA show, we always stop by Barry King's booth, and we'll pick a handful of tools to bring back for Denny, or just to have some fun ones just to play with. And so we brought back, I don't know, quite a few, maybe 10?
Yeah.
10 or so tools this time. We got the one that I used on the basket. Not this basket, but the other basket.
The shell tools.
And we did get some shells just to play with. He does have, that shell was almost the same one that I had, wasn't it, Denny?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was his version. Of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So if any of you were looking, that shell that I used on
The blue coaster.
this one, nope. This coaster, this fun, Barry King does have one that is very, very similar to this guy. So you could go.
Yeah, and he has it in like 3 different sizes.
Yep. Oh, I took pictures of some of his little cards. At the shows, Barry King has these little sample cards that he's, done using his tools, or people have come around and used. So I took some pictures of just like some fun designs where he'd use like some 3 different diamond sizes, and then stacked them up, and they all stacked into each other, and you have like these graduating diamond arrays. That was kind of fun. I like to look at his little sample swatches, give me ideas.
Well, I don't like using this little dumb thing.
The bar grounder?
Yeah, well, it's a little one, and I don't like them. I like the little pokey ones, but I forgot to bring it.
What's the little pokey ones?
Actually, I brought you a couple of backgrounders.
Really?
Little Mac backgrounders.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, that'll work.
Those little pokey ones?
Yeah.
Let's see. What kind of swivel knife do you use, Denny?
Nondescript.
Nondescript.
Oh, it's
I
that
don't
one
know
that
what
Kevin
else to
brought you
say
that
to
one
it.
time?
Kevin, do you remember who you got these from? Seemed like the Hyde House or something had a bunch of these that you bought. It's been more than a couple of years ago. Probably 15, 20 years ago.
I do not remember. It was a generic thing.
But it's a very nice knife, and when I bought it, it was even inexpensive to me. So,
Yeah.
The next question is, what are these used for?
What they're making?
There is no earthly purpose, which is part of the reason why I'm confuddled as to why I'm doing this.
Fuddled.
So it's kind of a thing. Isn't there like a Facebook group called Leather Trading Cards?
Yeah, Jim Linnell actually.
Yeah.
I believe, is the one that started that page.
And I think that's been around for a while, but, you know, leather crafters either coming up with ideas, but it's kind of a fun thing to exchange with other leather crafters.
You know, they started doing these things
it's probably
long time ago.
Yeah.
If you ever come up with one done by Al Stolman, it's probably worth something to somebody.
Yeah, for a while, I know the big deal was trading. They called them cartouches.
Cartouches?
It's a maker's mark.
Okay.
They called them a cartouche, but everybody was trading those with each other.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah, so it's kind of a fun thing for leather crafters to trade with each other. They don't take very long. Well, they might not take very long, but it's kind of just like a fun thing to exchange with other leather crafters.
So since we're going to be doing this on the last Friday of every month, don't you think we should make a box of a Denny box of trading cards and a Kevin box of trading cards that we can just put all these in?
I do.
Yeah.
And then we can start collecting the trading cards, and then, you know, maybe we can make some money off of them someday.
And then they just trade them with people. They're like, oh, I'll take that card, and then they ship them to them and ship them back and forth and just hang out. Liz, are you growing your hair out?
No, Nope, still a pixie. Now.
What are you going to get?
Not growing it out, just not cutting it.
Yes, I'm growing it out. It's growing out.
Do we have 18-inch coasters?
We have an 18-inch die.
So yes.
Yes. I don't know if we have pricing. Clayton was supposed to work on pricing for it, and I don't know if he's done that yet.
So what are you going to sit on it? A bucket?
Well, this is what I use. This is an 18-inch round.
Well, I know, and that's what I'm saying. If you use it as a coaster, what are you going to sit on it?
Oh, a lamp.
5-gallon bucket. A lamp.
Oh, a lamp.
A nice. Wouldn't that be really cool if you like tooled the outside of the lamp and it could just be like a doily, a leather doily?
That's actually what we do for some of our rock specimens out there, but we don't tool them too much. We just, you know.
Well, usually they're just oil tan. We just click them out and you put a rock on it and it's fun.
Angela had an idea. What if customers or viewers sent us in trading cards and we just made a place to put them on the wall?
I love that idea, guys.
To display people's.
We would make a spot on this wall back here. We could move the sign maybe up or down, or maybe move our thingy, and we'll start. I love that. If you guys want to send in trading cards, we would love to display them.
Well, you can't see really on the video because they kind of cut out, but there's
we
shelves. There's shelves on both sides as
these
well that we could make a display case and have a camera shot every now and then of them.
Yeah, that'd be super sweet.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
Well, I think I'm sort of getting close to done.
I think I might be too close.
Well,
it's only 11:30, so you guys can do another one. Look, Denny, you've got two for a reason.
And
we can start on another one maybe.
And just for whatever it's worth, I feel kind of bad sitting here like a bump on a pickle, not really doing anything. But any questions folks might have out there. Feel free, because if we don't know the answers, we'll make something up.
Because right now he's just a bump on a pickle.
Man. Shelly was asking a question about her swivel knife, and she needs to get a replacement blade. Probably the best idea would be to send us a picture in of your swivel knife.
So I know if you've got a Barry King knife, his shafts for his blades are a different size than like the ones that we carry here in house for our knives. I think he has a narrower blade.
That is correct.
Than our shaft. So it's going to depend on who the swivel knife maker is. But then if you just have one of our swivel knives, or honestly ours and Tandy's, the blades are interchangeable. So if you bought your swivel knife at Tandy, probably our blade will fit it. And then we've just got all the different blade listings, and they're like $4 or $5 a piece.
Great shot of your maul there, Denny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I was trying to show.
Do we have any recommendations for beginners that want to get into tooling? Is there a kit available? I know we have some small kits of tools available.
Yeah, we have several different.
We do have like the basic 7 and the basic 10 that come with kind of like your standard tools and a swivel knife. And that would get you started to do a lot of things.
And I would just, you don't have to do Western floral or Sheridan style carving to begin leatherwork. I mean, it's nice to do those things. It really is. But you can do a lot of nice things just with simple stamping. So I would get a few tools that you think you look pretty cool and figure out what you can do with them. And then if you want to go further, do that. Because that's kind of a good way to approach it, really, I think. I've seen so many people, they get started with this Western floral stuff or whatever, and they get so discouraged so fast because there's kind of some areas that are a little challenging about that. But then they start stamping and they can make something look pretty cool. And so that's what I'd do if it were me.
And just practice using a swivel knife. Like I feel like this bird that Kevin did, literally just using the knife, using to make those small, delicate cuts and doing the perspective game and kind of getting your feet, under you with that kind of process.
If that's what you want to do, then you'll do it.
Is there a book that you guys would recommend that would help people get started? Because really, I feel like this is just you find an image and then you try to replicate it.
There's so much online anymore. I have a hard time adjusting my thinking to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a book person. And the books have kind of gone the way of the dinosaurs, when it comes to some of this stuff. So, I don't know. I think getting online and watching somebody, and actually, for that matter, I know not everybody out there can see everything that Denny and I are doing, but you can see somewhat. And when you look at the way we use our hands, when you look at the way we use our tools, you'll find that if you just try to copy that same style of movement, you can actually sort of do okay, and it'll help. It's like learning how to play guitar, sort of. If you watch somebody that's really good, I guarantee you're going to get better. If you watch somebody that's not very good, well, you're probably not going to progress a lot.
Right. And another thing, everyone you talk to is going to tell you something different.
Yeah.
But like you say, watch someone who you admire, someone who's doing something you admire, and try to do it like they do it.
Yep.
But there again, like you said, if they're doing a really cruddy job, don't try to copy that.
Kevin, somebody wanted to know what you did with that modeling tool on the back of back of your card there.
Oh, thanks. I've got this one spot on my tooling that I left kind of big and round, and I just pushed it up a little bit. I didn't push it up very much because I've got tape on the back of it. And if I were to take that tape off and then push it up, we could have a nice little rounded area there that would look pretty good. But I'm just not going to take that tape off right now. I might do it here in a minute. But by the way, that's one style of what's called embossing. Pushing leather up from the back.
You
And
did a video a few months ago.
Yeah, the horse.
You did a tree.
Mm-hmm.
It was a basic video that you were doing, and we had some stuff that they wanted me to try out, and you had actually embossed it, but I went ahead and dampened it up again, pushed it out a little more, and put that stuff on it. It looks great. It looks great.
Oh. Oh.
I showed it to you.
Yeah, I remember that
tree.
Yeah, you definitely made it better.
Well, no, I just put that stuff in it. But
So that's an interesting flower for sure. It's a little busy, don't you think?
No, I think it's great.
Well, really, that could be done. I mean, we could do more, but
Don't forget to sign it when you're done.
I wanted to see what these looked like. I had never used them.
It looks like a diamond.
what is it you were using?
Oh,
The diamonds, yeah.
Anyway.
For any of you that want to make card sets, we do have a set of stamps that is a deck of cards. So you've got your spade, your diamonds, your heart, and your... What's the other one?
One of them club thingies, clovers, or
Is it called
diamonds,
a club?
hearts, clubs, and
Yeah,
spades.
clubs. Okay.
Liz is not a card shark.
Nope. I play solitaire. So they're there, but, I just match
You
them
don't
up.
have
I just matched the shapes. I don't know their names.
Kevin, why do you tape the back of the leather?
Well, because as you well know, it prevents the leather from stretching all over the place. And boy, it would have stretched with this amount of tooling on there.
I was going to say yours or Denny's.
Yeah, I'm sure Denny's would have too.
Your bird probably would have been okay.
I wonder if I could make a really tiny bird.
Well, you got more of them. Give it a shot. We've got plenty of time. But you got to sign that one first.
I did already.
Hold it up here. Let's see if we can see it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's pretty out of place.
Anybody want to take a guess?
Oh, it's easy.
That's right. Here.
Oh, that's really pretty, Denny.
Right there. That's so little, Kevin.
Well, that's why I said, I wonder if I could make it. If I make this little bird and screw it up, that's not going to be so great, is it?
Well, we got 2 good ones out of you. Oh, you're going to try to make a little bird on there?
That's what I wonder if I could do.
In that little corner? Or in the little raised section?
Right there in that little corner.
Do it. You got it.
And then I'm going to feel bad if it doesn't come out good.
You got this.
Well, boy, you talk about little, it's going to be little.
Gotta try out that micro carving like the Japanese do.
Well, I don't have any micro tools here.
That is true. You want to go to the overhead?
Yeah, I just need to zoom in a little bit, but I still can't see there. I just see the top of his finger.
Yeah. It's still better than the back of his hand, maybe. I don't know.
Don't look at the picture-in-picture real quick. I'm going to move it. It'll make you dizzy if you look at it.
Okay.
Well, I ain't no look.
I'm done.
Well, I was mostly talking to the people that are watching, Kevin. You pay attention to what you're doing.
Well, I don't know if this is going to work. It probably is not going to work, but we'll just do something even if it's wrong.
There's Denny's.
did we say how we would finish these cards? How you would
Are you
just put oil on top of them and put a sealer, or what?
I think I would oil mine and antique it.
Is that what you're going to
That's
do?
what I do. Yeah,
That's what his plan is.
Yeah.
And saddle soap.
And, of course, that'll. You know, everybody makes fun of me for that.
No,
You know, we
don't make
believe
fun
in
of
it.
We bring it up.
We're believers in the saddle
We're
soap.
believers.
Well, I think,
Oh, and we're back to the hand.
well, it looks sort of like a bird, kind of. If you,
Hang on, Andrea. I'm getting you the answer.
this is why you have to use your imagination. That's the world's worst bird.
He's a little fat.
He's a little fat. It's a,
He kind of looks like a torpedo.
it's a fat bird.
It's a darn fine fat bird.
Well,
We'll show you guys in a minute. He's real small. I'm impressed.
He's cold and his feathers are fluffed up.
Exactly.
well, that makes a good excuse.
I mean, it is cold outside right now. It'd be like those hawks sitting on the fence posts with their feathers all fluffy.
Hey, I saw, you know how in the wintertime you see those flocks of birds, those starlings or whatever they are, migrating. You see a great big old flock, big flock. Well,
It could be a fish.
you and I are old enough to where we have seen many of those flocks. But this morning I saw one that I have never seen before. It blotted out the sky.
Wow.
This morning on the way to work, I was driving down this little section of road, and there was this big black blob out in the field. And I've seen those things before, but not like this. It looked like somebody laid a black tarp out there on the field, except that it covered a great big area, and they took off. You couldn't see through them.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I've never seen anything like that in person, but I've seen pictures of them like that. I saw a movie one time when they had those, and there were so many of them that the birds would take off in different directions, and it was like, what do they call that? Those machines that change shapes.
A kaleidoscope? Oh, well. A transformer.
Transformer, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they would just change. All of a sudden, they would be something different.
Yeah. And I've seen that. That's pretty cool. There's a couple areas in the wintertime when I go home, I see those birds lined up on the telephone wires or power wires, whatever they are. You know, if you could line up a gun, you could kill 20 of them. but I've never seen such a thick flock before.
Wow.
Well, anyway, I did a birdie. I got to go back to work on my birdies.
We'll let you get some practice the last Friday of every month.
That's kind of hurting. But anyway, there's your happy little
Cards.
things.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate your dedication to my show.
Oh, boy. Well, I appreciate you doing this. And I'm sure the customers do too, and it's kind of fun.
All right, let's roll through some questions here.
Okay.
I answered one. It was how much were the playing card set, but I just posted the link there. Denny, what are the steps in making a Western saddle? It's not a quiz.
Making a Western saddle?
Yeah, what are the steps in it?
Sure.
Then somebody said, when are we going to do a saddle making class?
Are there any other questions? Because I feel like that's a long
I
one.
feel like that is a long one, yes.
Well,
We have a video. You could watch it's like 2 or 3 parts.
Yeah.
No, it's one part. It's just 30 minutes long.
Oh.
We have 2 different videos of Denny and I tearing a saddle apart and putting it back together.
Yeah, it would be nice to go through that, but there's more to it than just sitting here and telling you there's 4 different steps. Because there's 4 different steps in every step.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And there's like 100 steps.
What is in the red and white cup? I mean, Liz has her red and white cup.
This one?
That would
Coffee.
be iced tea.
Denny's or Kevin's is orange. And white, right? Is it orange and white? Yeah.
It is. How old is that cup? Is that a new cup?
Relatively, it's only a couple, 2 or 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Dean wanted to know if you tossed Denny your first card, if he'd be flipping him the bird. That was from Dean.
Oh, Dean.
And these don't have zippers in them either, do they?
See if he needs work. We always need another comedian.
Yeah. 10,000 comedians out of a job, and Dean's trying to be funny.
Anything else, Tony?
Let's see. Tony, did I ever finish the saddle? I did, without any extra injuries. I did finally finish it. The girl that I gave it back to, gave her saddle back to, she had forgotten that I had it. She was looking at kids' saddles, and she's like, "Oh, yeah."
All
And
right.
She sent her picture to her mom, and she was freaking out about it because it was her saddle when she was a little girl. So she was excited.
So she liked it, huh?
She did, and I sent her all the videos that we did, and she's like, "I'm going to have to watch it." I was like, "Well, be careful. It's 3 hours." Where can we get a video where Denny does a project and Kevin plays the flute?
Ooh. Did you bring your flute this year?
No, but I will. If somebody go get me one, I'll play a flute for you while Denny's tracing.
Where do I fetch one from?
Retail.
Retail, yeah, Shannon.
The other one, Cowboy Music Studio, was a saddle question. The basic parts, what's first,
Okay.
and when can Denny build me a saddle?
Do you need to set the sound different, Tony?
No, I took all the sound.
Tell him I got one built right now, so.
No, that one that's sitting next to your desk. That's a nice one. I think is it a 15-inch seat? No,
16.
16.
It's only 6,500.
Yeah.
It's yours. Yours
got-
for 6,500.
It's got beaver tail buck rolls on it.
Completely Western tooled. It's a beautiful saddle.
It's a fully
We'll send you
tooled-
some pictures.
It's a fully tooled saddle, isn't it, Denny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, full tool. Yeah.
The first step is buying a tree. That's step number one.
Okay, so are we still on that?
And then step number two is you look at the tree and go, "Do I really want to get into this?" And then step three is send your tree back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the one I wanted.
I just never got into saddles at all. Did one. That was the last one I'll ever do.
Cowboy
made
Music
one?
Studio said sold. We'll send you send an email to live@Springfield Leather.
Live at-
LIVE at springfieldleather.com.
And we'll send you some pictures
We'll
of
send
the
you some
saddle.
pictures.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a wade tree with a wood post horn, 16-inch. It's got I believe, a 4-inch cannel, buck and rolls.
If I was interested in
4
carrying
inch.
it, I would just carry it in here.
Yeah.
But
It's heavy.
It's very heavy.
I just don't have I don't have something to set it on when I get it in here.
Oh, you got a flute.
So
Oh,
this is
man.
a fretwell. It is for sale if you're interested.
We have 2 of them.
We have two of
We've
them.
stopped selling these, I think, because of COVID, right?
Yeah, it became a little hard for
Hmm.
you know.
I haven't played flute in quite a while.
All right. Hold on just a second, Kevin. Let me get my audio where I can hear it.
I got to get it so I can hear it, because if they're not set up right, they don't play all that well.
Very nice.
Music to tool leather by.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Very relaxing. Very.
What's fun is to play this in a stairwell in a hotel.
Yep. I've got a
Oh,
couple of
gosh.
those videos.
It just makes you sound good.
Great acoustics, huh?
Yeah. You got that
Wow.
big reverb in there. This sounds terrible to me. Does it sound terrible to
No,
you?
it sounds good on the video. It sound, yeah, you
Really?
sound. I mean, it only starts sounding bad when you quit playing.
Well, these hearing aids that I wear cause a lot of things to sound kind of goofy to me. So anyway.
Well, that wasn't so great.
Yeah, that wasn't so great. This is actually this flute is really, I have several at home, and this is bigger than them, so it's hard for me to.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent size. You can scoot your chair back a little bit if you wanted to.
Well, it's hard to get my fingers to cover the holes right because they're so darn far apart. My hands are small, and it ain't quite perfect. So anyway,
Not quite perfect.
it's my flute for the day.
There it is.
Yeah, you got to picture a big open field with a deer at the back end of it, lined around with pine trees and some fog up there, and it's early morning, and it's probably helpful if there's some teepees off to the other side, and maybe just the sun starting to come up and burn off the fog a little bit, and that's when you get the flute music.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's the setting.
I got it in mind.
You just got to go in small.
So,
Flutes.
Kevin, how'd you start playing the flute?
I always liked flute music.
Well, I know the story of how you started playing the guitar, I think.
Well, some guy come in, he wanted to sell flutes to us. He said we could resell them. That was Jerry Fretwell.
Mm-hmm.
And free plug for Jerry, if you want to buy a flute, you can look up Jerry Fretwell on the internet, and he makes darn good flutes. So anyway, I thought, well, that'd be cool. He said, yeah, you can play one. I said, I can't play a flute. He said, yeah, you can. You play guitar, you play a flute. What does a guitar have to do with a flute, He said, with these flutes, the whole secret is you never move one of your fingers.
Just one of them?
You never move one of them. I can't remember which one.
That's the problem right there.
Yeah. It's that one,
Never move that one.
I think.
So the third one?
Really.
Yeah. Ugh. But the flute's
What
gotta
is
be
this?
great.
What is this?
It's a block. There's actually a little space in there where air can flow. And every flute's different. You can move it just a little bit, and it
Kind of tunes it.
no, it provides the air in the right amount to make the noise good. And the other thing is, your fingers have got to cover those holes exactly right. And
Or
if they
you
don't,
tweet.
yeah, and so that's why I'm having the problem.
There it is.
But you never move that finger. No, they make
Your
flutes.
ring finger on your left hand.
I guess they make flutes that you can do that, and Jerry's much better flute player than me. He can make his do all kinds of neat noises. I'm just happy to make it work.
Awesome.
Nice.
Anyway, fitting conclusion.
Yes, I believe so. All right, Tony, anything else popped up?
Look.
Oh, hey.
The
We had a
what?
commenter who said, "Is this the stamp that she used?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you found the stamp that we couldn't find
What?
anywhere."
So we do have it.
Yeah. G2281.
That's that shell tool.
That's what else is. Where's that?
We looked high
If
and
I
low. Maybe, are we
remember
out of
right,
it?
We had trouble.
I stood over at the stamping wall and looked at every single tool.
Yes,
oh,
so
it's
did
not
I.
over there.
No.
Well,
We
I'll
don't
tell
have
you
it
a
anymore.
secret. We have this is for the benefit of the customers as well. Right now, the sickness that's going around the country is affecting every business in the world, and it's affecting supply chains. It's affecting just everything you can possibly imagine. And the bigger business you have, the more it affects you. And so right now, just restocking the walls is a terrible situation.
But it wasn't
for
in the catalog.
us. Pardon?
But it wasn't in the. It wasn't in the catalog either. We couldn't find it in the catalog. We just. It's,
Well, it's
thanks,
probably,
customer.
It's
Will be
probably,
noted.
it's at our warehouse in Grant.
Probably.
I believe it is. And, you know, when you run out here, it takes somebody to go get that stuff, and it's just...
We got to know that we have it to run out of it.
I know.
Alrighty, folks. Anything else?
Hold on. Let me look.
Tony's just over there taking his hat off, putting it back on. I just watch him just play with his beanie just constantly.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing over there. Every time I look at
I'm
you.
just chilling out.
Up
I
and
took
down.
it off so I can hear the flute playing a little better, so my ears weren't covered up. I don't see anything pressing. We've got proposed music hour with Kevin. Weekly.
Weekly hour with Kevin. You know what, guys? We actually have quite a crew here of musicians at this point.
Oh, we do.
There's a lot of them, and we've been talking about getting together a little jam session like we used to do back in the day.
Oh, gosh.
Just
And we might just have to work on that.
make sure you keep your eye open, hit notification bells when we go live, because it won't be a scheduled video. We'll just pop it in on a Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah.
I
So,
haven't got anything else.
alrighty, folks. Well, it has been a pleasure. We will be back next week with something. I'm sure it's going to be great, as always. Who knows what's
Oh,
going
wait,
to be.
hold on. A little fear. Ask a question.
Oh.
instead. How does Denny use saddle soap, and is it from a can?
Every
Yeah,
way that
paste,
he can.
Paste saddles. Phoebing's paste saddle soap is what we're generally referring to. If you're going to just clean a piece of leather, liquid glycerin saddle soap, the bar glycerin will do the same thing, but the liquid glycerin saddle soap will be the easiest to use just to clean with.
And he uses the paste saddle soap with a piece of shearling.
Yeah.
And you just rub it in.
Yeah, it's just a kind of a wax finish is what you get.
It makes everything just feel real good.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it feel real nice.
Yeah, it has a lot of lanolin in it, and I think that's the key.
Alrighty.
I think that was it. I'm seeing if anybody else gets mad that I missed the question.
Okay. Don't get mad at us, guys. That's silly.
Maybe it's I just take it too personal.
Alrighty.
All right, I think that's it. We can
Okay.
call it on there. If I
Thanks.
missed it, live at springfieldleather.com, and we will answer from there.
Thanks
right.
for watching.
We'll see you guys
Yes,
next
thank
week. Have a
you,
great
guys.
weekend. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for putting up with us.